Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new Pick a Side live reaction. We are here after game one of the NBA Finals, and Tyrese Haliburton once again comes up clutch in every single series, all four rounds of the NBA playoffs. He's made a statement, and now the Pacers take a 1-0 lead over OKC, and the Pacers have done their job. Win one on the road. That's all we ask. That's was their pathway to winning this series and shot variance, and a couple things went their way. How are you guys doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty good, honestly. I was not anticipating a masterclass. I was not anticipating an amazing game one after the Thunder were up 15 points. I never anticipated to watch Halliburton hit his fourth game-winning shot of the NBA playoffs. In one playoff run, he has 4 game winners. That is insane to think about. I never thought that Halliburton was capable of reaching these type of heights. What a game we watched. I thought it would be a good 5 games. I still think it can be a really great 5 games, but this was what NBA fans wanted. They needed this to feel like, okay, we have an amazing series on our hands, because what we just watched was an all-time game one.
Yeah, I mean, the Pacers needed one of these. They needed a signature Pacer win. They needed to, for being honest, win a game they weren't supposed to win. And that Haliburton shot, he keeps doing it. He keeps doing it. You mentioned, Joel, every single series he's had one of these shots. He's had one of these moments. And that fourth quarter, it's kind of ironic that it ended up being Haliburton, because the whole fourth quarter, the entire time, it was kind of the Nembhard show. Nembhard was the one bringing the ball up. He was the one facilitating. It wasn't even like Tyrese wasn't scoring, but for a lot of that quarter, the offense was running through Nembhard. So for Tyrese, the ball to find his hands that final possession, for Rick Carlisle to not call a timeout, which is probably the right move. You don't want the Thunder to be able to set their defense. And for Hallie to hit a pretty tough, contested, long 2-point shot to win the game, he has the clutch gene is real, and he has it.
Tyrese is a special player, and if you thought this game was over, you don't know the Indiana Pacers, because you can't count them out. You could be up 9 points with under a minute left, and they could still win the game. That's how special they are in clutch situations, and I have to give them a lot of credit. They ended up winning this game, but to start the fourth quarter, I was already preparing what I was going to say. And what I was going to say is, despite them turning the ball over 20 plus times, they finished with 25 total turnovers. OKC has 7 turnovers. Indiana managed to stay in the game the entire way. They were always there. And then they had that fourth quarter run. I think it was a 12-2 run where they really caught up. And then they were right there, 4-point games, sometimes a 6-point game. Shea was hitting some clutch buckets down the stretch. He missed the final one that hurt the most. But Indiana, to stay in this game with as many turnovers as they had. Now, it's one thing to have turnovers. It's another thing to concede points off turnovers. And the Pacers didn't concede that many points off turnovers, because a lot of the turnovers were dead ball turnovers. That is something they could clean up going forward. But when we talk about the shot making, Obi Toppin hitting 5 threes off the bench. Aaron Nesmith hit a big 3 in the fourth quarter. You're right. Andrew Nembhard showed up. He had an and 1 over Alex Caruso, given that he bullied him in the paint. That's easy money. That's easy. 1 for 4 from 3. Alex Caruso, by the way. I thought his shot was nice, though. You know what I'm saying? Look, kind of broke tonight. I'm just saying. It was kind of broke tonight. But, Nembhard had it going. Miles Turner, 2 for 5 for 3, but he got benched for Obi Toppin because he was hitting 5 threes. And for the Pacers to stay in this game and then win it on a last-second shot with Tyrese Haliburton, once he let that ball go, I knew it was going in. He doesn't miss in these type of situations. We are talking about since 1997 in the final 5 seconds of a fourth quarter or overtime game, he has 5 game-tying or go-ahead shots. Reggie Miller has 5. LeBron James in his career has 8. Tyrese has 5 in his young career. You look at all the statistics, teams that were down by these many points, 15-point deficit in the NBA Finals, they tend to not win these games. This is a rarity, but this is what the Pacers have been doing all playoffs long. And if you're OKC, you kind of hang your hat on your defense, as you always do, and you hang your hat on, we're not expecting Chet and J-Dub to be as bad as they were in game one moving forward. Chet 2 for 9, J-Dub 6 for 19.
Damn.
Shea was the only one that showed up amongst those 3. Shea was the only one that showed up. He got no help from his supporting cast.
Oh, sorry. I thought there was something else to come there, but no, you're 1,000% right. What I did not love about OKC's offense tonight, outside of Shea and of course Lou Dort, shout out to him hitting 5 threes, if I'm not mistaken, had 15 points. What I did not love was the amount of settling for mid-range jumpers that I saw from J Dub. And early on in the game, where I felt like, again, the score was close in the first part of the game. Even going into halftime, it was still a relatively close game. The only reason why we didn't see OKC take a dominating lead in that first half was because J-Dub didn't have him going, and he was settling for a bunch of jump shots. Obviously, he ended up not having a great game overall. You made a joke about Caruso, understandable. He was easily their third best player tonight. You could argue he was their second best player tonight. Lou Dort was great. He was actually hitting his jump shots. That's obviously when, at that point, you tip your cap to him, because that's a guy that you live with getting the three ball off. But when you're hitting your shots like the way that he was and the defense that he was playing tonight, you have to give him his love. But Alex Caruso, I thought, was really great. It's the fact that you didn't get the performance from the two guys that you got in the WCF in this game one of the finals. And even still with that, OKC was in control of this game for damn near the entire game, right up until that back end of the third quarter. And of course, that fourth quarter was one that Indiana obviously was able to take control of and obviously steal this game. I can't believe that Indiana won this game. And I say that understanding what they've done this postseason. I still can't believe that, again, we watched an insane, just 0% chance of a win. I can't believe that they were able to go ahead, and Haliburton, again, just being insanely clutch, steal a win away from a team like Oklahoma City. Oklahoma City is far better than every team that they've faced to get to this point. The fact that they did it against one of the most dominant defenses that we've seen in our lifetimes, they're showing what they're doing in this run continuously is not a fluke. We thought against Milwaukee, oh, wow, Milwaukee's banged up. It's only Giannis. What are you going to do? Great job by the Pacers to get past him, but that's what you should do. Then against the Cavs were banged up. We thought, hey, you can't keep getting away with this. Then against the healthy Knicks, game one, stealing that away from them with breaking like history, a comeback win that's history, never happened before. And then to do it for a 4th straight series against one of the best teams that we've seen defensively, and one of the best players who's having one of the best seasons of all time in Shea, who was amazing in this game as well. It does not matter. The Pacers are inevitable in situations like this.
And even though Shea had a great game, finished with 38 points, I think Indiana is going to look back and say, did a good job, right? Like going into that fourth quarter, Shea, I believe, only had two free throw attempts.
He didn't get to the line.
He had 28 points, but I think it was on like 26 shots into the fourth, 26.
Ethical.
So, I mean, if you're Indiana, that's what you want, right? Like, Shea is going to average 30 this series. There's really nothing you can do about that. He's going to average 30. But what you can't have is him averaging 30 while averaging 10 free throws a game while being super efficient from three, which he was in this game, ironically. But what you have to do is force him to take these pull-up twos, force him to take tough shots, force him to take middies, and not foul him. Because that's what, when Shea's really in his bag and he's really putting up these crazy stat lines, being efficient, a lot of that comes from the free throw line, which everyone has covered for the entire season. But I think it's just being overlooked that Indiana, although Shea's going to, you look at the stat line and be like, oh my God, killed Indiana, which, yes, 38 points. But also the way you defended him, it's hard to defend Shea a better way, right? Like, I know he still is efficient, 15 for 30 or 14 for 30. He does have that one miss at the end of the game. But if Shea's going to take 30-plus shots a game and finish with less than 40 points, only get to the line 8 times and 2 times in the first 3 quarters, I think you have to tip your cap to Indiana the way they were able to defend. This is also a great job for Indiana being able to survive one of these Haliburton games. One of these games where Hallie does not really have it going offensively, and we'll see what he's able to do as this series progresses, because this is a obviously incredibly difficult matchup for him. This Thunder defense, as we've talked about the entire season, there's no weak point. There's no one they can expose. There's no, even when you want to bring bigs into action, their bigs can defend. So it's going to be difficult for anyone, let alone Haliburton, to be able to generate consistent offense. But I feel pretty confident you're going to get at least 1, maybe 2 games where Hallie could give you 25 to 30. And he has that game where he's confident, super aggressive. And those are the games you need to capitalize on too. But it is good to be able to survive one of these games where Hallie goes out there and finishes the game with 14 points. Was it 6 for 13 shooting? Even Pascal Siakam, 7 for 15, right? He wasn't super aggressive. We saw him have 330 balls in that Knicks series. So it's not like he went out there and was just dominant, although he made a couple of huge defensive plays. But I think the way they guarded Shea was huge. The second half cut down the turnovers, right? They had 18 going into halftime, finished the game with 24, so only 6 turnovers in that second half. Obviously, turns the game around. And then just the 3-point shooting. The Thunder are not going to be a team that is going to shoot lights out. They're not going to be a team that takes 53s and hits 37% of them. That's just really not their game. So you hit 18 threes to their 10 or 11. You out rebound them as well. Then, of course, in the fourth quarter, in those clutch moments, Pascal has the big block. Haliburton has the big shot. This is not a game you're supposed to win, Indiana, but if you want to win a championship, this was one of the games you had to have.
They've had 5 games this playoff run where they've been down 15 points and won that game. That's why I'm not surprised that they won this game. They were in it the entire way, and they were right there. They just needed big shots late, and they got it from Nembhard, from Neesmith, and then from Haliburton at the very end. I think in order for Haliburton to have a great scoring series, he's going to have to score more off the dribble. The game-winning shot was off the dribble. The only time the Pacers led all game was after that shot. That's how dominant OKC was. They had complete control of it for the most part. But Hallie's going to have to hit more shots off the dribble because they are playing up on his screens. At times, they are showing, they're hedging it. So you have 2 on the ball, and he's going to have to make quick decisions. And I think that they're living with Hallie creating while he's in movement. And if that is a component of his game that in this series we see takes that next step and is shown at the biggest stage, there really isn't a weakness in Haliburton's game. The biggest weakness that people like to draw from his game is the isolation scoring. He needs screens and mismatches to get his shot off. But in this game, he hit 2 shots where he was shooting off the dribble mid-range shots. He hit one in the first half, and then he hit one on that game winner. But I feel like you got to feel really good if you're Indiana. Hallie didn't play that well for the most part, and Siakam didn't play that well. Siakam had early buckets on Case and Wallace, but then after that, his just shot wasn't falling. It was really the role players keeping them in it for most of it. They shot 46% from 3. I thought the TJ McConnell minutes were huge. He was able to dribble, drive, and get paint touches whenever he decided to. And you mentioned a great point, Dels, of them not fouling Shea. To guard him without fouling is a huge advantage. And for him to only have 2 free throws for most of the game before the Pacers were in the penalty in the fourth, and then every touch just became a free throw shot for Shea, I thought was encouraging. OKC is going to need J-Dub and Chet to wake up. And Chet, who with Hartenstein out of the lineup, I thought was going to have a better game. For him to be 2 for 9 and non-impactful offensively, you need way more from him. This is like the opposite of what they were in the Minnesota series, where every game they pretty much the big 3 dominated. And game 1 of the Pacers series, you kind of feel good if you're Indiana. If you can limit these 2 stars, Shea can average 40, but if you can limit these 2 stars, you got a real pathway to win.
Couple things I want to say. I know Chet obviously didn't play that great, but I thought Isaiah Hartenstein came in off the bench, and it was some of the most life I thought that he had in this playoffs. He was actually trying to be aggressive, putting the ball on the floor, trying to actually look at the rim. I thought his playmaking also, which we know is a strength of his. He had some nice passes in this game. But really what I want to talk about is Obi Toppin. The fact that he was as great as he was at the end of the game. With the way that he had started this game, he just seemed a little bit he was trying to do too much. Throwing the ball away, had some bad, just terrible turnovers, just seemed too amped up. The fact he was able to settle himself down, get into the groove, just knock down your open jump shots, hit some tough jump shots as well. I thought Obi was one of the main reasons that Indiana was even able to make a chance or have a chance to steal this game in the fashion that they did. So I want to give Obi his love. You guys spoke about Nembhard and obviously how great he was down the stretch. And I love the responsibility that Rick Carlisle put onto him. We've said this so many times about Indiana's offense and Indiana's team as a whole. There are so many players on this team that can take that responsibility and can have that responsibility. The system that Rick Carlisle has put in place, it has just done such an amazing job to maximize the team. And in a team like this, where again, your two best players don't have overwhelming games, they just have pretty run of the mill for their standards games. But the fact that the team as a whole was able to be as productive as they were, you mentioned TJ McCollum, what he was able to do. Again, Obi Toppin, just his consistency throughout this playoffs. Miles Turner was pretty great in this game as well, or in his moments as well. I say great. Obviously, they're coming off a W. I thought he was really good in moments. I just look at the team effort by the Pacers and this infrastructure that is their offense and how versatile and how many different ways that they can go and beat you. There's no way you could have came to the series and thought, yeah, game one, it's going to be one of those where we let Andrew Nemhard take control of the offense down the stretch, and that's going to be what it's able to help aid an amazing comeback win. It's crazy to think about the different ways that they can win. They're really an impressive team, and I still feel confident in OKC getting the job done. They took their foot off the gas, and Indiana simply has shown they are not a team that you can take your foot off the gas. I think they come out with a lot more energy in game two, but Indiana, they just continue to be one of the most impressive teams this season.
Shout out to Lou Dort, who I'm sure only had
Dort.
15 points because I placed a prize picks play on him to get less than 9.5.
Dang.
He had 9 points in the first
quarter,
half.
He had 3 shots to start 0 for 3. Like,
yeah, I was devastated.
Yeah, he was.
Every shot that went in, I'm like, my goodness.
But I think if you're a Thunder fan, right, because we talked about the Pacers. If you're a Thunder fan, I think a couple of things. Number one, the defense you're able to play like you have all season long still going to be there, right? Like you're still going to be able to turn over this Pacer team, although it probably won't be, 24, 25 times in the upcoming games, but the defense is still going to be there. You were able to shut down Haliburton. You were able to shut down Pascal Siakam. Obi Toppin has an incredible night, career night, considering the moment. You still have to feel good, I think, for where you are, even though you are down 0-1 and you really blew a terrible game and it's in the finals, so you're not going to feel good about it. And I'm not saying you should, but this feels already a little Knicks Celtics-y to me, because after the Knicks won game one in that Celtics series, it almost felt like both teams were in a must-win situation, because the Thunder are down 0-1. You can't go down 0-2, especially losing both games at home, right? The Pacers, though, it kind of feels the same way, where it's like, if you win game two on Sunday and you go up 2-0 heading back to Indy, holy shit, this entire series changes. So it really feels like both teams are in must-win situations here, because the stakes are so high and the Pacers are such heavy underdogs that the fact that they stole this one game, it's like, okay, what happens in game two if you're able to come out in that first half and you don't have 18 turnovers, right? Because even throughout this game, the Thunder had like a 10 to 15 point lead, an 8 to 15 point lead the entire game, the entire way. And no matter every single run that the Pacers were able to go on, they were never able to really cut it underneath 6 or 7 points up until the last couple minutes of the fourth quarter. So the Thunder were able to control this game consistently until the very end. I think the biggest run they allowed up until that 3 or 4 minute mark was a 6-0 run from the Pacers, right? So there's really things on both sides that individual fan bases are be able to go back on and hold their hat on. But this feels really like a game two where both fan bases going into it saying we have to win this. The Pacers saying we have to go up 2-0, so we just need to win one in Indy. And the Thunder like we can't go down 0-2 heading back to Indy because of just obviously. I mean we've heard the stats over these last couple of series, right? When there was Knicks Celtics in the second round, when there was Pacers Knicks in the third round, can't go down 0-2 at home. We've seen the stats, so this was an incredible game, and I'm happy we got this because the amount of stupidity that was talked on this series, like everyone picked OKC, right? And I think that's fair. They should be heavy favorites, absolutely. But anyone who thought like this was going to be like in a non-competitive series, that like the Thunder were just going to win every game by 15 or 20 points, I don't know what you've been watching from the Pacers if you thought that was the case. And they proved it tonight. As improbable as it is, they've been doing this all playoffs long.
The pressure's on OKC. It's as simple as that. It's on them. I feel like when you win the first game, the tone is set. And in the way that Indiana won it, it was a legit heartbreaker for OKC. It's like we outplayed these dudes for most of the night, and they hit this shot with 0.3 seconds left, and the best shot we have to win is a lob. 0.3 seconds left on the clock. Now OKC is in a situation where the pressure's on them a little bit. They're like, my goodness, the Pacers won this game, and we forced 25 turnovers. 25-7 turnover margin. That's the difference. But in all the other categories, 3-point shooting, field goal percentage, rebounding, assists, Indiana won those. And I'm expecting Indiana to win most of those. The assist battle and the 3-point percentage, I'm expecting them to win consistently in this series. If they cut down the turnovers, they have a real formula here. I think OKC's defense is all time, but I think there's some real things in their offense that can be exploited. And I think it starts with them not moving the ball the best. I think it starts with their sloppiness in the half court. The problem with them is when you turn the ball over that often, and the Pacers didn't really experience this because a lot of their turnovers are dead ball turnovers. Bless you.
Thank you.
But
Apologize.
when you turn the ball over against them, it's those points off of turnovers. It's that defense that turns into offense. But in a half court setting, we've seen various moments these playoffs where OKC is a bit vulnerable in that regard.
I want to say this, and I wonder what you guys think, because obviously SGA did miss the opportunity right before Haliburton hit the amazing shot. And like you guys already mentioned, credit to Rick Carlisle for letting the game play. I thought that was really smart on him, because we know and we've seen in the moments where Tyrese Haliburton kind of just goes and kind of plays off rhythm, he's able to make greatness happen. So credit to him. However, I understand that it's 0.3 seconds. 0.3 seconds is only enough time to catch and shoot the ball. However, why was the lob the play? Why was a lob the play with Alex Caruso inbounding? Why not get the ball to the MVP? Why not get the ball to the guy who already had 30 attempts? Let's let him die on his sword. He's SGA. He's the MVP. He's arguably the best player in the league right now. A lob? You don't even give him a chance to throw up a shot, even if it doesn't count. I think that's kind of losing me down the stretch of the game, really nitpicking this game for Oklahoma City. But all in all, again, I think they took their foot off the gas and they kind of let up, and Indiana is simply not a team you could play with. That's not what you should be doing. I think we see an assertive OKC in game 2. Obviously, you're right, Joel. All the pressure's on Oklahoma City. You go down 0-2, shit gets real. I don't see that happening. I still believe in Oklahoma City, but I still think we need to see them turn it up. Offensively, I believe coming in that Minnesota's defense was better than the Pacers, and we see a little bit of consistency when it came to J-Dub and Chet. That was not the case at all. I thought Indiana's defense was excellent on those two guys. I also thought that J-Dub and mostly J-Dub kind of let them off the hook and settling for easy jump shots or settling for tough jump shots. That's not what you should be doing. You need to be attacking the rim and really putting pressure on them. I think that'll be the way that we get to see them going, but not the greatest way to start an NBA Finals.
0.3 seconds is not enough to catch and shoot.
That would have been tough. Really tough.
0.3 seconds is enough to catch the ball and throw it up.
0.5 is, not 0.3.
No, it's 0.3 seconds.
0.3 is not.
0.1 is the
you
tip
had
lob.
Go
0.3 you
the
catch and
basket.
shoot. They said it on the broadcast too.
0.3 is not enough time.
I would have
think
done the lob too.
I think the lob made the most sense in that situation. They were in a situation where there was not enough time. Like Haliburton left them with no time.
You just can't, like, you have to get the ball probably facing towards the basket to be able to catch and shoot. Like Shea can't fade away. He can't be facing away from the basket. Listen, either way, it's incredibly improbable with 0.3 seconds to get a shot off.
I feel like with the Shea shot that he missed is going to get talked about. He's the MVP. He was playing well up to that point. I thought where Indiana won was the J-Dub possession right before that possession, where Shea was ISOing and he passed it to J-Dub with 6 seconds left on the shot clock. And J-Dub ISO 6 seconds on the shot clock. I was like, oh, this is a win for Indiana. If J-Dub makes this shot, you live with it. But if he's the guy that's taking these shots in these moments over Shea, I'm comfortable with that. I thought Indiana did a really good job forcing them into a lot of isolation basketball at the end.
Wow,
Yeah,
I really
tough
just
game.
looked it up. Apparently, there's a rule that says you can't shoot the ball with 0.3.
It's incredibly difficult. OKC they just lost the game off the Halley shot. There's not enough time.
I'm crazy. You guys have never seen a game winner with 0.3 seconds?
I've seen 0.5 before, but it's
0.3, I
hard.
don't know.
Like when you have to catch it. It's almost like a grenade. Like you have to catch it and throw it. Like you don't have enough time to catch and then settle into your shot. You have to catch it and then just go like this, usually like moving instantly. It's kind of like if you're playing volleyball, like you have to go like this. So that's why it's not even a good shot to begin with. The lob isn't a good play to begin with either. I mean, it's just there's really no good play for point.
That's on me. I trusted Mike Breen.
Unless you have Victor Wembanyama, then there's no good play. There's no good play for that situation. But that's going to do it for us. Live reaction. Pacers steal game 1 of the NBA Finals. Now we have some super chats. Sorry. Freeholder 33. As a Celtics fan, I'm rooting hard for this Pacers team. Love seeing small market teams. Also, Joel and Drew, we need a Money in the Bank predictions TikTok.
Coming soon.
Cook up.
Jason goes, Giannis, Mitchell, Brunson averaged 30 plus against the Pacers and they lost. Shea will get his numbers, but it won't matter to the Pacers. All 3 defenses were also bad defenses.
Hey, listen, I understand playing or feeling like the world's your oyster right now. I would be moving the exact same way. If I'm a Pacers fan, I'm talking like I'm winning the finals. I don't care.
Wonder what the odds look like now.
This game 1 victory, it moves me. It moved mountains.
I bet it did move you. It doesn't take much to move you on an OKC loss.
No, it does not. Santos, start, bench, and cut trio. Number 1, Curry, Tatum, and Wemby. Number 2, Luka, KD, and Embiid. Number 3, Shea, LeBron, and Jokic, fully healthy.
I'm gonna start SJ, LeBron, and Jokic. I'm going to cut Curry, bench Curry, Tatum, and Wemby, and cut Wemby, Luka, KD, and Embiid.
Yeah, I'm cutting Luka, KD, and Embiid. I'm sitting SJ, Bron, Jokic. I'm starting Curry, Tatum, and Wemby.
Yeah, you really are a glazer. It's insane.
You started SGA, Luka, or SGA, LeBron, Jokic.
I actually started a team with 3 MVPs. Sorry.
I don't give a damn. Bums.
Yeah, you're an idiot.
Bums.
You're an idiot.
I'm starting Shea, LeBron, and Jokic, benching Luka, KD, and Embiid.
Okay, so
I'm
minus
cutting
330. Sorry. Go ahead.
Curry, Tatum, and Wemby. Weren't they minus 800?
I was gonna say, I thought they were minus 750. So that's a pretty huge swing.
Yes, it mattered. I mean, it moved Vegas too. Darian Stewart. He doesn't have a super chat. Maybe he has a comment. Okay.
He said,
Didn't Derek Fisher make a shot with 0.3 seconds against the Spurs?
All right. I know I'm not tweaking.
Yeah.
There is a rule that says you can't shoot the ball with 0.3, which I don't know. That's kind of crazy. But I've seen 0.3 second shots.
So Derek Fisher's was 0.4 seconds.
that tenth of a second, it matters, man.
It really does. It really does.
Like I've definitely seen shots with 0.3 though.
Yeah.
Whatever.
So maybe there is one. Maybe there's one. We have to find it on the internet. It's a possibility.
Oh, you were on a walk when Tyrese did this?
Oh yeah, I was.
No way.
Yeah, I was finishing my 10K steps and I was on a walk. We were at the end of the block and I saw Tyrese hit the game winner and I just screamed Haliburton.
I would have been bugging the hell out.
Haliburton.
Thanks, Jess.
I'm getting his jersey. Yeah, nah, for real.
Finals
she's telling me to be quiet. Oh yeah, you know I'm getting that.
That would be electric. Yo, we should twin. I get Siakam, you get Haliburton.
Yeah, I'm down,
crazy?
man.
I mean, they took out the Knicks though. I don't know.
Nah.
I'm a Siakam guy. He's a Haliburton guy. Who cares?
No. The rivalry only exists within this series when we're battling. That's it. They beat us, so it's over.
I got to share something real quick, and then we can end it. So I tweeted, realistically, if the Pacers win the finals, this has to be up there for the most difficult championship of all time. It was a very carefully curated tweet. Somebody responded, or I'll shout him out. The Spain child, shout out to KB. He says, not when you include the sacrificed chicken and goats before the playoffs. I responded, sometimes you got to crack a few eggs to make an omelet.
Fact.
Hey, listen, if they win, it'll be improbable. One of the most improbable finals victories ever. I think. Like nobody's expecting this. I think OKC is the most favorite finals team ever with the odds.
Yeah, they were. I think it was the most, or before this, the Warriors Cavs 2018, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, my goodness, it would be insane. There would be a lot of things said about OKC too.
Oh, yeah. No, it'd be
I'm sure
nasty,
you would
but
love
it's
that,
one game.
Joel.
It's one
Huh?
You
game.
would love that, wouldn't
Huh?
you?
No.
No, not well, Joel, yes. Joel too.
Oh, I mean, it would be one of the biggest chokes in NBA Finals history.
Rick Carlisle cements himself as
Yeah, that
the
too.
best coach ever.
Oh, he becomes a Hall of Famer if he wins this
Yeah,
championship.
but also if the Thunder somehow blew this, which I still think they're gonna win, they're trading for Giannis. Like, just lock that. They're
I'll
gonna
be
make some
honest,
sort of crazy move. They
I
have
would
to.
be so hype. I would be so hype.
Yeah, if I'm Giannis, I'm ruining my ass off for the Pacers.
Hell yeah.
They need to get some more seriousness in that locker room. Not enough TikTok dancers. Can't do it.
Okay. All right.
Can't do it.
All right.
Get them out of here.
Josh
outta
Hart
here.
is literally a podcaster, brother.
And I don't want him on my team.
So's Jalen Brunson.
I don't want to
he
disrespect
he got lured into doing it.
I
All right.
can't disrespect JB, but I can disrespect Josh Hart.
Well, that's gonna do it for the live stream. Thank you guys for coming on, and thank you guys for watching. Drop a like. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you guys live again after game 2. Thank you guys.